Hello and welcome to Ask Wildman. My name is Miles Bassett, CEO of Wildman Web Solutions. For those of you who don't know, we're a small digital agency based in Lawrence, Kansas. We work with small businesses to help get them online, doing websites, e-commerce, SEO, mobile apps, social media, everything. So in this new upside down world of ours, with every kind of business working their way and getting themselves online, establishing their online presence or expanding it, we thought that we'd start doing sort of an AMA Q&A style show where we just answer all your questions. We get a lot of questions via email, call, um, trying to figure out how to fix their website or set up an online store or something. We just wanted to answer everyone's questions all at once, and this is the live stream to do it. So if you are a business owner out there just starting to get yourself online, or if you already have an online presence and you want to know how to expand it, you got some questions, this is the show for you. So again, my name is Miles Bassett. I'm for the technical side of the house over at Wildman Web Solutions. Joining me on the call today um, is Mike Hanna.
Good morning, Miles.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, just peachy. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So Mike is the sort of sales and marketing side of Wildman Web Solutions. He helps with the strategy side of things, social media marketing. He is our in-house marketing expert. So any questions you have on digital marketing, on social media, gonna pass over to him, and we'll see what we can do. Hi, Philip. Thanks for joining. Anyone who wants to join, we've got this link here. Please like and share. I want to try to get this out to as many people as possible, answer as many questions possible over the next half hour or so. So please like and share, push this out to anyone who might be interested. We do have a couple of questions sent in beforehand that I think we're going to go ahead and get started on. These are just sort of standard questions we've been getting a lot over the last couple of weeks. If you want to input your questions, just throw them in the comments here, or you can email us. We'll try to get to you. You can email us, askwildman@wildmanweb.com. So let's do one for you, Mike, first. Which one would you like to do?
Oh, I have no idea what they are, so go ahead, shoot one over to me.
All right.
You're not sharing that screen with me.
All right. Well, here's one we get a lot. So I know this kind of differs based on what platform we're talking about, but what is the best time to post on social media?
Okay. Well, it does typically vary a lot, from platform to platform, and even over years, it's varied. But I think in general terms, I mean, I would probably, cross-reference what I'm about to tell you with, several different Google searches. But I think earlier in the day for platforms like LinkedIn that are more business related, mid to afternoon for things like Facebook and Instagram is going to be your best bet. But generally speaking, if it's something that has a lot of legs to it, meaning you're expecting to get a lot of engagement or a lot of shares from it, if it's a big announcement or a big newsworthy type of post, I would do that mid morning. At 10 o'clock, wherever time zone you're in, is pretty ideal. And that's what we do a lot of times in the entertainment world. If there's a big tour that's about to go on sale, an announcement or something like that, is we typically do that announcement between 9 and 11 in the morning. And the thinking on that is, as the shares multiply throughout the day, you're going to get sort of an extended presence in the algorithm, if you will, and so people will see it multiple times throughout the day and get that good frequency going. But overall, if you're spending too much time in that question, I'd actually ask you to back up a little bit and maybe do an audit of your content because you may not be posting enough. I think that's really only a question we should consider if it's a really big announcement, if it's something newsworthy or something like that. If we're just talking about when to post regular content, right now, all the time, as much as you can. That's really the answer, rather than sometimes we get bogged down in these over analyzing our moves, and it leads to us making less moves. Really, for most businesses, especially if you're a small business and you have multiple facets to your business, meaning you have multiple income streams and things that you can talk about without just repeating yourself over and over again, you should probably be posting 3 to 6 times a day. And so I would be trying to schedule out one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and maybe one in the late afternoon, early evening. And don't overlook weekends either. There's actually a tremendous amount of traffic and engagement that happens on Facebook on Sunday evening, which people may not normally think about. But yeah, that's my overall go to. There is just keep posting as much as you can, because that's really what we should be concerned about.
So on social media, we should be social. That's the answer here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hot takes
And
from
well,
Mike
and
Hanna.
yeah, and I'll add a couple of things to that to kind of flesh it out. The next question that people always ask is, well, okay, well, how much posting is too much posting, right? Like I said before, 3 to 6 times a day is probably your ideal zone. But we also don't want to post right on top of each other. So I wouldn't want to do 3 posts within 30 minutes. That's just going to confuse the algorithm. You do want to space them out a little bit. And as long as it's not spammy, as long as we're keeping our compass about content of what is the end user getting out of this, are we educating them? Are we informing them? Or are we entertaining them with our posts and our content? Then we can really get away with posting quite a bit of stuff without wearing them down. And then, the I guess the nature of that question to begin with is, when should I post? What they're really asking is, how do I get more people to see my organic content or my non-paid content? Um, and I think that there's some other factors that you could do that actually have a much bigger impact than the time that you post it. For example, you need to be including video if you can, but at least a picture really with every single post you do, because that is um, basically given more weight in the algorithm than just text. The algorithm loves video, and then second, it loves uh, pictures, and third, it loves text. And then there's even a whole other hierarchy above that, and that is any new tool that a platform unveils. You want to be able to put as much of your content into that platform as you can. I'll give you an example. Facebook Live right now, which we're putting this out to, is going to get a much bigger algorithm boost than your regular post, even if it had a picture or a video with it, because Facebook wants you to use the Facebook Live. So they're putting more credence to that in their algorithm. Same thing with Facebook groups, stories, things like that on other platforms, even besides Facebook. If they come out with a new tool, whoop, re-engineer your content plan to include that tool, because that's going to get you more organic views.
Awesome. Well, again, for those watching, if you have any questions about business, about technology, about marketing, or just want to ask how our day's been, you can throw those questions in the comment or email us at askwildman@wildmanweb.com. We'll try to get to everyone's here. But we'll just keep going on this social media train. I've gotten several questions about hashtags. So I wanted to just go over hashtag 101 here. Mike, you can jump in whenever you want here. But basically, for those of us who don't know, who maybe haven't gotten a whole lot or gotten into social media a whole lot, um, if you're not using hashtags, you're missing out. The stats show that tweets with hashtags are being like 33% more likely to get retweeted. But basically, they are a word or group of words turned into a link that can be searched. It's a way to categorize and interact with social media posts, and they're used differently on different social media platforms. Um, First of all, if you haven't created a hashtag before, Don't do punctuation, don't do spaces. Everything you learn about grammar, just leave it at the door when you come in for hashtags. So the best way to separate out words is going to be with capitals like this. So the first word or first letter in each word is capitalized out. But Mike, if you want to talk a little bit about how these things differ from platform to platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, how do you hashtag?
Sure. I mean, I think overall the general principle, which you touched on there, is the same across all the platforms. I think different platforms put more weight behind them than others. Like to me, I don't really see the point personally in using hashtags on Facebook. I don't think that really gets you anything. It might let in your copy and in your text, but people aren't really searching for terms and things the way that they was, for example, on Instagram with hashtags. But then something like LinkedIn is a little bit more hashtag based, kind of like Instagram is, where you can actually follow a hashtag. And so I would really encourage people on those two platforms, especially, to be using hashtags. And I guess I'll throw Twitter in there too, with pretty much any single post. That doesn't mean you have to go crazy with them. I see some people put 20, 30, 40, hashtags in a post. I don't think that's necessary. But what you need to do as a small business owner is identify in your area, in your immediate zone of business, what are the 4 to 8 to maybe 10 or 12 relative hashtags to your business, and more importantly to your audience, that you can be including in there so that you're getting found in those searches organically. It's really just kind of a hack, a way to get found more, get more likes, get more follows, get more views, than posting without hashtags. So I guess that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if I answered your question or not, Miles, but really, really important stuff, especially on Instagram and LinkedIn. I would pretty much not use it though on Facebook. It's not going to hurt anything if you do. It's just not something you really need to spend a whole lot of time on.
Yeah, again, that wasn't really much of a direct question, more of an amalgamation of people asking, where do I do this? I see these piles of hashtags on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and I see all these articles of how to use it, where not to use it, that these things
Mm-hmm.
work, they don't work, and just want to cut through the BS there and figure out how to
I
use
guess
those
I'll
things.
I guess I'll add one more thing to that.
Hmm.
Another great tool that they can be used for. And again, this goes back to identifying which are the most relevant hashtags to you and your business in your area. Is that can be a great way for you to jump into conversations and engage with people. So not even coming from your own page or your own content, but if I search a relative hashtag to my business or my industry, I can come up with just hours and hours and hours of content that then I can go in and I can engage with that. I can leave my 2 cents, not in a spammy way, but in a meaningful engagement way of entering the conversation. You see a lot of this on Twitter and Instagram, and that can be a way that I can gain exposure for myself and my business, and at least hopefully be looked upon as somebody that's an expert by the people who are reading that thread.
Gotcha. Well, let's see where we are over here. Tell you what, let's move off of social media. We got
Okay.
another question. What is an SSL certificate?
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to handle that one?
I will handle that one. Yeah,
Okay.
moving into the
All
technical
right.
here a little bit. So the technical answer is that SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. It's there's really no need to really know that, but pretty much this is, have you ever noticed that some websites have HTTP at the beginning while others have HTTPS? Uh, Maybe you've noticed that little tiny lock icon at the top left-hand corner of your browser. That is the SSL search. So websites with the HTTPS have the SSL certificate. Um, this is pretty much a secure protocol developed for sending sensitive information over the internet. Uh, if a website you're on has an SSL, it means that the site is secure and encrypted. Any data you enter is safely shared with that website and with only that website. Um, pretty much it was developed for banks and websites accepting credit card information, so that your information couldn't be intercepted by hackers or other third parties, and otherwise taken from you. The SSL allows for your browser and the website server to securely form a bond, so that your information can go to that website and that website only. It can't be intercepted halfway through. But you might be thinking, I'm not accepting payment or any other sensitive information on my website. Why do I have to worry about this SSL? And that is because of a change that happened in 2014. Google saw these SSLs as advantages on websites, so they started prioritizing websites in search that had this certificate. That means that if you are being searched for and your competition has this certificate and you don't, they're going to show up before you. But more than that, they actually started to display those things. So you might recognize something like this, where you get a little exclamation point up there that says "not secure" on your website if you don't have it, and you get a nice little lock, a green lock icon if you do have that. So for user experience alone, it's really nice to have this SSL, because people will see that nice little green lock rather than immediately seeing this warning icon when they go to your website. But beyond that, there is an SEO benefit to it. Um, so search engines started to prioritize websites with this SSL on there. So as soon as you get it on there, well, basically they saw it as a way of verifying your identity. The first step in getting an SSL on your website is to verify who you are, verify your identity, and verify that you actually own the website. That was the way that they actually, pass these out to the proper individuals, the people who actually owned these websites. So Google saw that as a good way of indicating which sites were good and which sites were bad. The ones who were phishing for information or doing other malicious activity probably weren't going to be able to go through that verification process. So the websites that have this certification were therefore prioritized. Now, that's only gotten more and more important in search algorithms, where it's become less of a nice to have and more of a need to have. Um, Good news is that they've gotten easier and easier to get. Now people are just handing these things out like candy. If you buy a domain from Google, they come with a free SSL. If you get hosting from certain hosting providers, I know Google does it. I think SiteGround does it. Some other providers. We provide free SSLs with all of our hosting programs. So if you're getting a new website, or if you're upgrading, if you're updating your subscription or something, ask about an SSL if you don't have one already and get it set up in there, because chances are you can get it for free. And that is a nice, like I said, it's nice for the users to be able to see that little secure icon, and it gives you a free SEO boost for doing literally nothing. So that's kind of an SSL there. I think I probably over answered that question, but
It was
we like
very
go to the
thorough.
technical side of
It's
things.
very thorough.
Well, that's my job. So again, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments here. Email us or ask Wildman at wildmanweb.com. All right, see what we have over here. Again, this is Ask Wildman from Wildman Web Solutions. We're a small agency in Lawrence, Kansas. We focus on helping small businesses get themselves online, grow, establish, otherwise build their online presence through websites, social media, SEO, everything. So, in these crazy upside down times of the COVID-19 epidemic, we are trying to get as much information out there to all of our business partners and businesses in the Lawrence area specifically, to help them get themselves online, help them expand their online presence, and get through this. So what do we have? Here's a good one we can go on for a little while, Mike.
Okay, what you got?
All right, what is the best way to advertise on a very limited budget?
Yes, we we get that one a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Uh, a nice looking young man with a great smile and a sandwich sign sitting out on 6th Street is probably going to be your cheapest way to get your message seen. But there's a few other ways that may be a little bit easier, a little bit more traceable that we could do on a limited budget. I guess um, without knowing the type of industry of who asked that question, I'm going to have to go really general with this. But obviously, there are a lot of ways out there you can be using no budget and still getting marketing and advertising across. Organic reach is not dead, and especially if you're a B2B business, well, my gosh, LinkedIn has been completely overhauled in the last 2 years and is a great content platform, and you can actually get your posts seen without having to pay for them. So we all remember, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago when Facebook really changed the algorithms, and all of a sudden, businesses' posts couldn't be seen near as much, and it's just continued to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle every year since then. And a lot of small businesses had to scramble because that was their entire marketing plan. They thought that they could just advertise for free on Facebook. Of course, that probably wasn't the best plan to begin with. But LinkedIn is a huge opportunity right now if you're in the B2B space. If you're in the B2C space, I think Instagram is a great way to advertise either organically, or there's a lot less pushback there in terms of the supply and demand for ads. And even right now on Facebook, there's a lot of opportunities for people. Things like Fortune 500 companies and big SaaS players and e-commerce players that were spending gobs and gobs of money, maybe in your category, on Facebook in the past have pulled back. And so there's a lot of opportunity right now where you can get results on Facebook for $5 to $10 a day, per ad is what I'm talking about, if you're doing it the correct way and you're really building out some good engageable content. If you have a good leads generation funnel and a way to capture those leads and follow up on them, you don't need a huge budget these days to advertise. But to give you a couple of tactical things, and I mentioned a few of them before. Facebook groups. I would certainly start a Facebook group if you haven't already. That is a great way. It doesn't cost a dime. People are going to see your posts. People are going to engage with your posts, and you're going to be able to look like again, an expert in your field, as long as the content you're putting out in those groups goes back to our North Star of being informative, being educational, or being entertaining. I would be doing things like this: uh, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live. IGTV is a relatively new platform on Instagram where you used to be able to be stifled on video to only 60 seconds. Now you can do several minutes on IGTV, so you can do long form video on that. Again, video, like we talked about before, is going to be ascended in the algorithms across all these platforms. So, as much video content as you can produce, that is great. And whether that's going out and hiring a professional to make content for you, or just using your phone, or both, I wish I had more specifics on who was asking this question. But let's say you had $1,000 a month to spend right now on advertising, you could do a lot of damage. I feel like across any of those platforms, as long as you were using all the organic tools to your best advantage, and you were using video for your paid ads, and really doing things smart with your paid ads, like setting up a retargeting funnel so that as your ad campaign is going on, that you're basically spending money only on the people who are interested in your products and services, and you're weeding out those who are not as interested. This is not the time to be spraying and praying. This is not the time to be doing things that are not trackable. I would want to track every single cent that I spent on marketing and advertising, uh, you know, in general, but especially in these days. And so that means I wouldn't do anything that I couldn't easily track. So all traditional forms of media probably out the window, except for maybe the guy with the sandwich shine on 6th Street. I still think that's a pretty good play. But uh, but yeah, there's a lot of things that folks can be doing. Email is certainly not dead, and that is certainly affordable. You got to be more clever. I wouldn't put a spammy subject line in my emails and expect to get results with that. But if you're putting really good content out in your email, if you're really empowering your audience through your content, it will get seen, it will get opened, it will get used. Facebook Messenger is a gold mine right now, and that is something I would be recommending really to whatever industry or any budget you're in, that you're utilizing Facebook Messenger. People are opening those, people are engaging with them. Again, you can't be spammy with it, but also something like a chatbot. Really, I think people don't understand how affordable those are. That technology is, and the benefits that you can get from it. Especially if you're able to integrate that with your marketing campaign as a whole, man, you could really do some damage with something like $1,000 a month if you had an effective chatbot utilizing your lead generation and then putting those leads into your Facebook Messenger to follow up with people. Now, Facebook clamped down a little bit on that recently, so it's not as a deadly of a weapon as it was just a few months ago, but it's still really really important to be using Facebook Messenger for your marketing and your outreach, along with your email, because it's really affordable and a great way to get seen. I can keep
Awesome.
going on that if you want, Miles, but
Well, I think we've pretty much driven that one home, but there is one bit that one part of that question that I've gotten several times. People are
okay.
on Facebook, they're looking at different ways to try to push their content a little bit more, and they keep getting that notification of, hey, this post is doing well. Boost your post here. Spend $5 and reach 10 million people or whatever kind of crazy stats they're giving you here. Can you just talk a little bit about boosting a post versus doing Facebook ads and where each of those belong?
Yeah, that's a layered question. It's hard to answer that without um, knowing who I'm talking to. But generally, this is really generally speaking, I think that doing a boosted post, if you don't know how to do, a regular Facebook ad or a dark post, or you can't afford to, or you don't have, you don't know somebody to hire to do that for you, I think a boosted post is better than not doing anything. But it's certainly not an efficient way to spend your advertising dollars. Um, it's more taking that spray and pray approach. It's more just really, I think, overvaluing reach. And not to say that reach isn't important, because you really can reach a lot of people with a Facebook boosted post for a little bit of money. I know that was an exaggeration. The $10 for 10 million people, but you really can reach a whole lot of people for, yeah, just $10, $20 a day or something on a boosted post. But are those your people? Are you able to really track off that boosted post, how effective it was? I don't think you are near as much as an actual Facebook ad campaign. The difference, let me give you an example. The difference, a boosted post, think of a boosted post as a station wagon with an automatic transmission, and think of a well coordinated, Facebook advertising campaign as a brand new Tesla with a 5-speed automatic, right? They both could get you there, right? If you just go into the grocery store, they both could get you there. Now you have to have a whole lot more knowledge to drive the Tesla to get the performance out of it that really makes the Tesla, the ultimate machine compared to the manual station wagon. You can also wreck that Tesla if you don't know what you're doing. So, do I want somebody who's never tried to do Facebook advertising before to take their life savings and dive in with it with both feet and try to teach themselves how to do it? Probably not a good idea. You probably want to hire a professional to do that. But a lot of times, especially in this environment, we can't hire a professional. So, boosted post is not the end of the world, but I certainly wouldn't make that my focus, and I certainly wouldn't spend a whole lot of money on that, because it's just not a great ROA, return on your ad spend, or return on investment, compared to typically what you're going to get out of a Facebook ad campaign. But you know, if somebody wants to, whoever answered that question, if they want to, DM us, and
Mhm.
I could give them a more specific answer tailored to their business. Actually, after I really saw, what they were going to be doing with that boosted post. But it is what it is in terms of Facebook organic reach. If you're not going to get a whole lot of organic reach, so I think the bottom line on Facebook is you really should be spending money somehow, some way. And if that's a boosted post, well, like I said, it's better than nothing. But at some point, and maybe this is the perfect time. Maybe this is the perfect time for a business owner, especially if their business is shut down and they don't. I know they never don't have anything to do, but they have less to do, and they're financially secure. Okay, maybe I would tell that person, hey, take a couple $1,000s, do some trial and error, teach yourself how to do this, because it is going to be a great skill to learn how to do a regular Facebook ads campaign as opposed to just boosting it. But that's why they have the boosted post there, and that's why they're always teasing, the business pages with it, because they know business owners are busy. They know they don't have the time to learn how the Tesla operates and how to drive it, to get its utmost performance. And so it's an easy shortcut that allows them to do something, and it's better than nothing. But yeah, certainly, I would have either myself and as a owner or CEO of an organization, or somebody high up in my staff, be learning that stuff right now if we already didn't have somebody in house to take us to the next level of Facebook marketing, because there's a whole bunch of opportunity out there. And again, I'm only talking to those people who are financially secure, and they know that they're going to be open in 3 months, and they're going to have capital to spend. Those people right now, they should be doubling down on Facebook, and really all social media advertising. And so for those people, I would say don't do the boosted post. Now's the time to take it up to the next level.
Well, you touched on something there that kind of applies to all of our questions here. Obviously, we're trying to be a little bit general here. We're talking to everyone all at once, but it'd be much better to talk to you one-on-one, really figure out what your business is doing, the specific challenges of your industry and of your business, and give you a tailored answer to your specific situation. So if you do have any questions, reach out to us, go to our website, wildmanweb.com. You can, again, email us, askwildman@wildmanweb.com. Comment here, follow us at wildmanweb, and we'll try to get to your questions specifically as best as we can. I'm going to shift gears here a little bit and talk about SEO. This is one we get a lot of questions about. Generally, people just asking, what is it? Should I be doing it? They look
Mm-hmm.
into it. It's immensely complicated or crazy expensive. But, everyone wants to be found online. So just want to do some real simple SEO questions, answers here. If anyone wants me to dive into anything, again, just throw it in the comments, and I'll expand on it. But um, for those of you who don't know, SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's the idea that you can work within the algorithms of different search engines to get your content, your website, your social media, your blog posts to rank higher than the competition. You want to get to that first page of Google primarily in order to get your page found. So if you want to do some SEO, you want to maybe you have a little bit of extra time during this epidemic, and you want to work on your website a little bit. You want to increase your search ranking, get yourself up to that second, maybe even first page of Google. Um, I think the first thing for you to start doing is keyword planning and keyword research. Keywords are the things that people are actually searching for in order to find you. And a lot of people will go a little bit too generic when they're focusing on these things. So, for example, a windshield repair company will try to rank for the word windshield because, of course, someone searching for windshield, you want them to find you. But that's far too generic. You remember, online, you're competing against the rest of the planet. So, something that broad, something that vague, you're just not going to be able to compete on the world stage, the national stage, may even have trouble competing locally for some of those more general keywords. So my advice on keywords is to do niche keywords that are targeted and relevant. So when you're doing that keyword planning, keyword research at the very beginning, um, make sure that you're targeting keywords that are relevant enough to get your business appearing in front of people. Um, but you want to appear in front of the right audience, not just anyone and everyone. It's kind of what Mike was saying earlier on advertising. You don't want to just spray and pray here. You want to get in front of the right people. So choosing something instead of just windshield, you're going to do something more like uh, car chipped glass Lawrence, Kansas, or something like that. And these keywords are the ones that you're going to try to build into the body of your website, put it in your titles, put it in your blog posts, put these keywords on your social media, and really focus your content creation around this keyword set. Do a little bit of research, find out who's showing up for what. There are lots of SEO tools out there to help you do a little bit of keyword research. If you just search keyword research, then a bunch of free tools will pop up and help you do that. You can use incognito windows or in private browsers in order to search without your personal search history and caching and cookies being affecting your searches. But in general, before you do anything, before you put any time or money into any SEO work, do a little bit of research, do a little bit of keyword planning. Then if you want something a little bit more explicit to do, work on your website's meta description. A meta description is a small description of a website, of what it contains. It's basically the summary of that web page in something around 160 characters. You want these to focus on your keywords, and for smaller local businesses, it's important to have the right keywords in that meta description. Depending on what website platform you have, you can access those your meta description in different ways. But everything from the most advanced website platforms down to the easiest DIY platforms out there should allow you to manually edit your meta description. So a quick Google search should get you some instructions, or again, message us and we'll talk you through how to get to it. Third tip on SEO is be unique, be authentic. Search engines are masters at looking at massive amounts of data all at once. So make sure that you are putting out good quality stuff that is different from the competition. You don't want to be cookie cutter here. Search engines look for unique content. I think we're on number 4 here. Fourth tip is to be active everywhere. So that means go on social media. If you have a blog, post to it regularly. Make sure you're staying active. You're putting out regular content. You are um, you're alive online. Search engines will look at you versus another company, see that you're posting regularly, see that you are active on social media versus the competition, which hasn't posted anything in 5 years, and they're going to direct all of that traffic over to you versus the other guy. On that point, if you want to blog, blogging can be a really great SEO tool. It's a nice, easy way to stay active and push your keyword sets. Um, but only do that if you're going to do it regularly. If you're going to put out one blog post irregularly, some a couple weeks apart, some a couple months apart, then maybe think about a different way of being active online. But if you can stick to it and put something out once a week, once a month, whatever your schedule is, then it can be hugely beneficial to you, your business, and your search engine rankings. But basically, across the board, content. Content is key. Produce good, relevant, regular content for your business while always keeping your keywords and the research that you did at the very beginning in mind. And that's kind of a beginner's approach to SEO. If you have any questions on that, you want me to dive into any of those, we can talk SEO for hours. So please message us, email us, throw your questions in the comments. But for now, I'll stop on the SEO rant and move on to the next question. Let's see. Mike, how you doing over there?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I got a couple more minutes here. We got a couple things I got to do for a client real quick, but
Uh-oh. All right.
nothing's on fire. But we're good. I can get it done here before noon.
All right. Well, we can just go ahead and wrap up this show. Thank you
Okay.
for everyone tuning in. I did want to put one announcement on there. We have had this little scroller going down at the bottom of the screen that is talking about our free local business online toolkit. We're putting that out as just our little part to help businesses, stay alive and thrive during this crazy time. This toolkit includes tons of resources, articles on a lot of the things that we talked about today. It comes with some tools to help you manage your reviews, to manage your different social media accounts, tons of analytics on SEO, on your website, on how your social media posts are performing. So, a lot of metrics and great tools to help you do what we were talking about today, measure it, make sure you're being effective. So, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the comments down here. You can just go to wildmanweb.com/LBOT, standing for Local Business Online Toolkit. There's a small form there. Just put your information in. We'll sign you up for free. There is a limited number of these things. So I think we're going to be giving out about 300 for the state of Kansas over the next couple of months. This offer is valid through June 30th. So again, check out wildmanweb.com/LBOT for the free local business online toolkit. Thank you, Mike, for joining us today. Hopefully, we answered a couple of questions, and we will be back live soon. So, in the meantime, send your questions to askwildman@wildmanweb.com, and we'll try to get to them as soon as possible. All
Yep.
right.
Everybody have a good day.